Another sad night here in the land of the Phoenix Suns, but we appreciate you being here with us for the PHNX Suns postgame show, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Lindsay Smith here with Saul Bookman and Espo. Hopefully Gerald Bourget will be joining us from the Footprint Center here
I don't know
shortly.
if we're going to make it to Gerald.
I mean,
I don't know if we're going to make it to Gerald.
Another loss, another night. The Phoenix Suns have officially moved to 20-20 on the season after falling to the Miami Heat 104-96.
Black hole sun, won't you come? I've just show how I'm feeling, Emma. Just show the people how I'm feeling, please. I mean, let's just show them. Just sitting here reading the subtle art of not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
For those of you on the audio, it's a meme from the House of Representatives today. But
it was a solid meme. I appreciate the pun. I thought it was kind of funny tonight. That was probably the best content of the night, was just like seeing how people were watching both I'm gonna call them games, right? Obviously not games, but both programs at the same time, making memes into Suns memes out of it. At least there was some humor there.
Somehow C-SPAN was more entertaining than ESPN tonight.
At least for a moment in time. Definitely. I don't know, you guys. This is just a bummer all around. But let's get things started by looking inside the box.
Let's do it.
What's in the box? Yeah, it's one major injury to zero. There wasn't. Suns lost 104-96, and there just wasn't a lot from a stat perspective to look at. But there was another injury for the Suns tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even know if I call it major at this point. It's almost expected injuries at this point because there's so many of them, you know?
Yeah, I know how you feel.
It never stops.
Chris Paul left tonight's game in the second quarter and did not return due to what the Suns are calling right hip soreness. Does this, on a 1 to 10, we're just going to 1 to 10, how nervous are you that Chris Paul's going to miss significant time? Meaning 5 or more games.
I'm going to say like a 2 because I'm past the point of him. I just don't think he's the point guard that he has been, and that's it. So it's a big deal, but it's not the biggest deal.
I mean, you've been playing better as of late, but anytime an old man hurts his hip, you got to be concerned. So
it's all that fast walking.
That commercial makes it so much worse.
It makes it really bad.
It makes it so much worse.
But look, you can't. I get that Chris Paul isn't that Chris Paul right now and probably won't be. But right now, as we're doing this, the Suns are now tied for 9th in the West, half a game up on the Jazz for 10th in the West, and Minnesota is only 1 game back of the Suns. So losing anybody right now makes it significantly worse because your margin for error has become nothing.
Well, I would argue it was nothing before. You know, it was, with Chris Paul specifically when they were 1-7 with him in the last 8. So it's like,
yeah, but he was looking good the other night.
Yeah, he was looking fantastic against the Cleveland Cavaliers, but unfortunately, he was gassed the last 6 minutes, and he was a non-factor. You know, and. Yeah. Listen, this team is not a very good team. They need other people to step up. It's not really Chris Paul's responsibility at this point to step up his game. He can do everything he needs to do without having to be a scoring factor to get everybody else involved, and he does. But the problem is that everybody else is not raising the level of their game, and this team is falling apart because of it. That's been the argument this whole time.
Okay, but since he came back from injury, he's 16-point average, 8 assists, 1.3 steals, was shooting 44% from 3. You're now losing that on top of what you've already lost, and you're going to replace it with Dwayne Washington Jr., which I know you're infatuated with, Saul, but tonight he showed in extended minutes that he's not efficient, and now he's going to be your starting point guard in all likelihood come Sunday. This isn't good. This is going to get significantly worse without Chris Paul, and you don't have the luxury of sliding anymore in terms of the standings or in the way you're playing.
What's going to happen?
Not to make jokes, but I think we need to be more specific with the manifestations that we're asking for, because we asked for more Dwayne Washington Jr. Maybe we should have been more specific in what way we get more Dwayne Washington Jr. minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't play great tonight. He didn't, and I clamored. I was one of the ones to clamor for D-Wash to get some more minutes. I don't want him to be the starting point guard, right. And I don't even want him to be the backup point guard. I more just want him to be a gun off the bench. But hey, when you're in desperation mode and all you have is Landry Shamet and Dwayne Washington, he's gonna get some burn because there's nobody else left.
I love you, man, but you are totally underselling how poorly he played tonight. He shot 27% from the field.
Yeah, he wasn't good.
He was awful. He was bad tonight, and now you're looking at least a foreseeable future where he will be playing 30 to 35 minutes as your starting point guard.
But listen, as much as he was terrible tonight, at least we get to see what we got. If Chris Paul misses a stretch of games, you're going to have to rely on Dwayne Washington Jr. because how many other ball handlers do you really have at your disposal right now? Not many.
Zero?
Yeah. So we're going to see the answers that we've been asking this whole time. We're going to get an answer to it.
Yeah.
Or the question we've been asking this whole time.
I don't think we're going to like the answer we're about to get.
But at least we get the answer.
Yeah.
I mean,
at least we're not going to sit here in 2 weeks and be like, what about Dwayne Washington Jr.?
The guy got more minutes than expected. He comes in and he's basically having to supplant whether you want to say campaign or Chris Paul, it doesn't really matter at this point. They're both gone. So, Landry Shamet and him are trying to carry the weight of running this offense. Like, that's not the easiest position to put yourself in. And I think the more and more minutes he gets, the more comfortable he's going to be out there, like as either a starter or playing significant minutes. Because I'm telling you this right now, there's a big difference between playing like 2 or 3 or 4 minute bursts than there is like playing an entire quarter going into the second quarter and then third and fourth. And like now all of a sudden you just play 25, 30 minutes and your body just ain't used to it because you never have to do it.
I get it. I want to be consistent when we call a player for having a bad game when it's Chris Paul and then this guy comes in, backs him up, shoots 27%, and we want to act like, well, it's not that bad. No, it was shit.
And nobody even came close to saying it wasn't that bad. I said he was bad tonight. He was not good. Like, I don't know what we're saying.
I think the
here.
expectations for each of them are also drastically different.
But this is a guy shooting 39% for the season. Don't expect a lot moving forward either.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Honestly, our expectations probably need to be lowered moving forward.
I'm not blaming Dwayne Washington for this loss. Let's make that very clear.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time, like, okay, well, we don't have any other options, and this is where we're at. This is who we got to play. Unless they sign Kemba Walker off the street or Isaiah Thomas somehow, like, there are no other options. You are stuck with what you have. There is no G League to pull from. You are completely effed right now.
Icon. DW shot so badly that Monty would drop a game-winning shot for him. Somebody else said 27% would have been a hot December for Mikal. Look, we got to laugh right now.
Like, you gotta, whatever your coping mechanism is, tap into it. Mine is humor and poking fun of things. So that's what we're going to do. And also trying to find the positive, but that's a trauma response. But we're talking about injuries, and we also got this little nugget out of tonight's game. So Dwayne Rankin, who was on the road when the Suns were on a road trip, tweeted out, "When you attack the paint, it tests not only strength, but conditioning and legs. For Bridges, it's a totally different game than catch and shoot threes," which at the time that Dwayne Rankin had tweeted this out, he was 0 for 5 from the field. Then Dwayne added in, plus, he's been playing through something. Wrap on right knee in pregame, had ice on it in Cleveland. So clearly, Mikal Bridges is not 100%.
Well, if he's not 100%, then what the fuck is the difference between his bad knee and Campaign's, tender foot? Like, they should both be on the bench.
Absolutely.
They should both be on the bench. What are you trying to prove right now? Like, Mikal's not helping save games for you. He's clearly going through something. sit his ass and let him get healthy. Fuck the streak. What does the streak even matter?
I agree. And you're doing him a complete disservice by not at least putting him on the injured list, saying, hey, he is injured. He's taking all sorts of strays from everybody right now because he's playing so poorly. If he's injured, say he's injured, because you're just making him look bad right now if you're not. What poker game are you playing if you're hiding that Mikal is banged up right now? I mean, it's just dumb.
Not only that, but like if you already know the odds of you winning the next handful of games being that you're without Devin Booker, you're without Cam Johnson, you're without Cam Payne, maybe now without Chris Paul, what harm does it do to sit Mikal Bridges for a few games and give him a break? You're already likely going to lose those games as it is. And as our very own Gerald Bourguet noted on Twitter tonight, Mikal Bridges ranks second in the NBA in minutes and leads the league in miles traveled this season. Too much.
Yeah.
Too much for a guy who's clearly going through something.
But that's
you're going to make it worse.
That's I get that Mikal Bridges wants to be out there, right? But guess what? You're the adult in the room, Monty. You choose who plays and who doesn't. Mikal Bridges can't check himself into a game. So at some point, you've got to sit and just say, look, I'm either playing you hardly any, like I'll play you 20 minutes and let you get some rest that way, or I'm not playing you at all.
Yeah.
And I don't care if he wants the streak to continue. It does you no good, and it does him no good.
Yeah.
We're playing with fire.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing with fire because oftentimes when guys start favoring things or start, trying to play through things, there's another aspect of, listen, this isn't the playoffs. Like there's no courage in trying to make it to game 41. Like there's just no point to it. Like go sit your ass down, get some freaking treatment, get back to healthy, and then come back. Because listen, I think we're getting very close to the point right now where basically you better freaking go like 90% in the remaining games you have with Devin Booker and Cam Johnson, because you ain't going to make the playoffs otherwise. We're flirting dangerously close with no playoffs as opposed to even a play-in game right now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think. Really is crazy to think that.
Can somebody let Monty Williams know that regular season most wins trophies is out of reach and it's okay to let Mikal sit it?
Yeah, because as impressive as it is, and like if it means that much to Mikal, then put him in there for 2 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever, until you get your first time out and then take him out.
Yeah.
If it means that much to him, but don't risk it.
Yeah.
Because God forbid, knock on wood, touch metal, whatever your thing is, God forbid you try and ride out this stretch of games without all of those players that I just mentioned, utilizing Mikal in the same way that you have, and then you get one of them back, but Mikal goes down. Now you've just shot yourself in the foot because when everyone's talking about, oh, if we get healthy, we can still yada, yada, yada. Yeah, well, if you injure another player, then you're screwed either way.
Yeah. I don't understand the thinking right now in any way. Like I really don't, but I'll say one positive thing here. If there were ever an NBA season where a team would go like 41-41 and win a title, it's this one, because the NBA seems like it's drunk right now. There's all sorts of weird ass shit happening. I think it was Charlotte was up like 30 after the first quarter on the Bucks tonight. There's all sorts of bizarre things. So just get in and maybe something falls your way in a weird season like this. But at this point,
that's the only saving grace right now in the season, is that the fact that, even at the 10 spot, there's still only 5 games out of first. Like it's just a real wonky kind of season, and you got to find your way through it. Everybody else did when they were going through injuries and COVID and all this other stuff. Yeah. You guys, we kind of, skipped that step of, getting hit with the injury bug, and now it's come in a really, really big way, and you got to be ready to go.
It's almost like it's making up for lost time, which is really rude. Yeah.
You want to know something crazy, though? How bizarre this season is? There's only 2 teams that are undefeated in their division this season. The Boston Celtics and the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, yeah. We haven't lost to the Clippers, Warriors, Kings.
They're 7-0 in the Pacific Division.
Lakers. Wow, that's nuts.
We got a super chat from Trevor. Trevor, thank you for your super chat. They said, Mikal needs to stop with the streak. Can tell he's not the same player. He needs to realize he needs to rest if he is hurt. He lacks his quickness. Yeah, 100% agree. And we've seen this isn't like over just this road trip. This has been a hot minute now for Mikal.
Yeah.
So if it initially started because of an injury or just some sort of soreness or whatever that he's trying to play through, and it has been now a month of this, again, it's so unnecessary right now specifically.
It looked like it might have been that hyperextension that he had a month ago. Mm-hmm. It was that leg, and maybe he just has never fully recovered from that.
Well, and look, I don't hold it against Mikal wanting to play. He goes, all these teammates are out. I don't want to be one of those guys. I'm good enough, but that's still the training staff and Monty that need to say, you don't have to be that guy. Take a few days. We're better off if you're 100% rather than trying to go out there at 75, 80. And so, yeah, I don't hold it against him, but somebody's got to stop him if he's actually hurt and sit him for a while.
Can I address something in the chat real quick?
Yeah.
So listen, I know some of you guys are new to the fact that we might not be good this year and we might end up in the lottery. But I want to say this, there's almost virtually a 0% chance that we're going to get the top pick. And that's the only way we can get Wembayama. So we got to stop saying tank for Wembayama because it ain't going to happen.
Yeah, right now you are 9.5 games back of the Rockets for worst record in the West, and even more from the Detroit Pistons in the East. You're not going to wind up falling back enough to do that. And the only way, like we talked about, that you'd even remotely consider that is if Devin Booker is out for until middle of March or something. Otherwise, you don't do that to a guy like Book. You give him every chance you can when he gets back. So,
somebody in the chat, Isla or Ela, I'm not totally sure how to pronounce it. They said, "Why is everyone convinced that Bridges cares about this streak?" Source, Mikal Bridges has said it multiple times that he's proud of it and that like it's cool. I mean, he hasn't said that I care about it in the sense of like I'm not going to miss games if I'm injured or something like that. But like he always talks positively about it when he's asked about it.
Well, and the eye test, he's out there playing like this. There's something that's motivating to do it, whether it's the streak or just not wanting to let teammates down when there's so many guys injured. Either way, it's detrimental to himself and the team if he's not fully healthy at this point.
I mean, Imani's been very complimentary of it as well. So, they're all aware of it. They've talked about it. It's a thing. So I'm not saying that it's not his number one driving force by any means, but it's definitely something that you're at least aware of and taking note of.
Joshua in the chat says, are we missing Aaron Nelson? What did his staff do differently? I mean, I think that could be some of it. I don't know this training staff well enough to pass any judgment on them, but Aaron Nelson and his staff were one of the premier groups in the NBA, and he's in New Orleans now and has helped rehabilitate Zion there, but injuries happen. None of these, except for rushing guys back, and in the case of Devin Booker in particular, I don't know that there's anything that this training staff is or isn't doing that's causing these injuries. I mean, I think that's a pretty big jump. I think we've just been very spoiled to not have a lot of these major injuries pile up all at the same time over the last couple of years, and it makes you forget that this is part of the NBA.
Yeah, we've kind of been spoiled, honestly. Yeah. I mean, we did deal with injuries last year, but we kind of have been spoiled as far as not having major issues on that front.
Yeah, and we didn't deal with injuries like this.
No.
It seems like every game somebody. I mean, honestly, like between us and the Cardinals, I don't know what the hell's going on in the Valley, but everybody's getting hurt. So hide your players right now because nobody's safe.
All right. So as much as it sucks to lose another game, I will say I'm kind of surprised that the Suns, without Chris Paul, like how depleting that is, and then, of course, just losing him in general, were able to stay in this game for a good portion of it.
I mean, I They cut the lead to certain points, but I never really felt like they were in the game. To be honest, since the first quarter, I felt like it was just it was basically over.
No, the Heat let them back in. I mean, the Heat shot 41% and 26% from three. It wasn't as if you were going against a world beater in that. I mean, this is another team that was struggling. So it doesn't surprise me that they gave up a 16-4 run in that third to let the Suns kind of back into it. But there was at no point I sat there and thought, yeah, the Suns are going to win this game, or the Suns have a real good shot at winning this game. It was pretty much, yeah, this is just the ebbs and flows of an NBA game.
Yeah, I get that. There was no moment where it was like, oh my God, the Suns are definitely going to pull this off or have a potential to pull it off. But being that the fact that the Suns were able to even take advantage of a run like that, considering shots haven't fallen for over a week straight now. Oh. And they had the game within 5 at the end of the third quarter. Like, listen, I know I'm grasping at straws here, okay? Yeah,
they didn't shoot well.
But at least we scored more than 14 points in the first quarter.
Lowered expectations.
Yeah, I feel like you're basically that person in the Squid Game that fell off the cliff and is trying to grab the rope to save themselves. Like, you're just trying to find anything to save you from dying, and that just ain't happening right now. They're not a very good team. Yeah. There's nothing you can say differently that's going to change my mind right now.
Moral victories are like appendixes. I have no use for it. All right, I don't want moral victories this season. I don't think at any point you're going to be able to convince me. Well, at least no, unless the box score says the Suns got the W at this point, I'm just not gonna grasp at these straws anymore.
I didn't think that it could get this bad. To be honest with you,
this year.
Yeah, I mean, one out of their last 9, 1 and 8. It's just not good.
Yeah, 5 straight.
It's looking more and more bleak as we go by the day. Oh man, that's not good.
To put it into perspective for you guys, not the positivity side of things, how bad it actually is. That Bischoff on Twitter sent out this tweet and said Phoenix is now missing 65.6 points per game through injuries, which doesn't include Jay Crowder, who hasn't played all season. So doing the addition, right, of what Book, Chris Paul, Cam Johnson, and Cam Payne are averaging this season, 65.6 points per game. No wonder we could barely get over 100 points these days.
I mean, I get it. I understand, but you still got to play these games. And it's like at some point you have to make a roster move. You have to do something. Right now it's just, all right, we're going to sit here and hope we get a different result every time. And it's just not happening. And there's nothing else that you can do at this point. You make a roster move or you sit here and you accept that, and for the next 2 weeks minimum with Booker out, you're going to take a beating.
Yeah, well, buckle up, y'all, because we're in for a stretch, that's for sure. But you know what can help with that?
More furniture?
Four Peaks and Good Friends. And those two things are combined next Friday at our inaugural PHNX Tee Party. We're going to have Four Peaks. We're going to have fun times with good friends. We can all get drunk and commiserate together.
If I don't have good friends, do I just double up on the Four Peaks? Is that what I need to do?
Yes, exactly.
No offense.
Actually, I think you just don't show up.
Well, I can't be the Suns. I have to show up.
No, okay. But it's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. Next Friday, the 13th, we are going to be taking over Dobson Ranch Golf Course, and it's presented by Four Peaks. So our friends will be out there with us as well, and we want you guys to come hang out with us. So not only is there unlimited range usage out at the Dobson Ranch Golf Course, but we're also hosting a watch party for the Suns and Timberwolves games that night. We'll be doing our shows out there as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Outside of golf and Suns, we also have contests and prizes and different challenges that you guys can participate in. We'll have heaters, hot chocolate, food, drinks, all the things. Also, if you've got kids 10 and under are going to have a free clinic that's being provided for them. And you're also going to get a free hour of range time and golf balls at Dobson Ranch to be used at a later date, which is a $35 value. So we want you guys to come hang out with us. $36 per person, $120 per foursome. Put it in your calendar.
1
next
week from
Friday.
today. Let's go.
Next Friday, 5:30 p.m. Come hang out with us.
Oh, Chris is so nice. In the chat, she said, I'll call a ceasefire for Friday.
There you go. So now
I
you
have one person that
You've
will treat me nicely.
Yes.
All right.
The link to get your tickets is in the description of this show. So check it out. Make sure you sign up and come hang out with us. This is my favorite part of the show lately.
Are we doing shots?
It's the DraftKings.
Oh.
Look back at our bets in the pregame show.
So fantastic.
I'm really upset that Espo hit his bet tonight because it was what, a plus 340, 430, something like that?
Yeah, we'll see in a second.
340.
A plus 340,
yes.
which is a solid pickup. I had Chris Paul under 8.5 assists tonight at a plus 105. I hate injuries, but it helped on my bet. I'll tell you that.
I got so lucky. I'm just going to admit this. Like, there's no reason that DA should have snuck past Bam there in the final few minutes, but he did. So I'll take the W. I almost took Chris Paul first bucket tonight at plus 1,200 and backed off at the very last second. And that would have put me in the lead here. And I'm very mad I didn't.
Yeah, that would have completely, you would have jumped leaps and bounds over us. I am just so shocked that Chris Paul made the first bucket because when does Chris Paul rarely ever shoot in the first quarter, let alone the first possession? No wonder that one was a plus 1,200. But Saul, unfortunately, your bet did not hit tonight, even though we were all pulling for you in the pregame show. We all picked the Suns to win.
Yeah, it was. Listen, I had a lot of faith in the guys, and they let me down.
You actually lost 2 bets.
Yeah, I did.
It's a side bet, too.
Because we made a side bet in the pregame show. If Chris Paul had 8 assists in the first half, I would buy Saul lunch. And if he didn't, Saul would buy me lunch. So
and then he got hurt at the end of the first quarter. And
and so I get
not like
lunch.
he was burning the house down anyway with his assists.
He wasn't. He had one. He had one. Yeah. So what's the leaderboard look like, Emma? All right. Saul minus 30, Lindsay plus 61, Espo plus 22.
Back in the green, baby.
All right. Well, we'll see how this all plays out for the rest of the year.
I'm taking the lead on Sunday.
You think so?
I'm back to my Espo's rolling the dice. I'm not playing this conservative bullshit. I'm going all in. I'm gonna take that lead on Sunday.
Okay, whatever you say.
Can I make a prediction for Sunday?
Yes.
He's gonna go so fucking big, and it's just gonna drop. Saul's gonna make a smart bet, and it's gonna hit. Lindsay's gonna make a smart bet, and it's gonna hit. Love you, Espo.
Oh,
you're gonna go.
Love
throwing
you.
shade.
But I know how you think, Espo.
Emma, I appreciate you, but now I'm really hoping Jacob's kid comes Sunday during that game, so you're running back and forth. Yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh. If you guys want to get in on the action on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, make sure you download it right now and sign up with that promo code PHNX because when you use that promo code, you can place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code PHNX. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Our DraftKings king of the game tonight is going to go to, drumroll please, Torrey Craig. He finished with 17 points, which matched his season high, 9 rebounds. He was 7 of 11 from the field. Unfortunately, Torrey Craig did not score any additional points in the fourth quarter. He played 10 minutes of that and had a big old goose egg in that quarter, but he did play. He did play really well tonight, at least in the first 3 quarters.
He did. He was the spark that kept the Suns going.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't enough.
Well, and Emma, the intern, did great crown placement. So
did you just call her the intern?
I'm taking Hello's advice. Says Espo is going to make Emma an intern again. Congratulations, Emma. You are the head production intern right now.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely insane.
We're punitive here, apparently.
We're doing the best that we can. All right, we do have a couple super chats here. Icon? Okay. Oh, thank you. Can we talk about that challenge they upheld?
Oh, the Oladipo dunk, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that shouldn't have been a foul. But, I mean, you're talking about a fraction of an inch, and you can see the underside or whatever. So I can kind of see why they went with it. But, yeah, it was a soft call.
It did look like Torrey's thumb hit something. Originally, I thought it didn't touch anything. I'm pretty sure it hit the ball, but you couldn't really tell. There was some contact. So I guess when you go there, you can't overturn it without conclusive proof.
Yeah.
And they just didn't have 100% conclusive proof.
Yeah.
So it's a tough spot.
It is.
Going back just a quick second, Mike B said, I don't care what y'all think about Craig. My guy works, man, buying a jersey, but waiting before trade deadline, LOL.
I mean, you can't trade him at the deadline this year. You got to require him, right?
I think he meant waiting after the trade deadline.
Yeah, until buying the jersey, he's going to wait. Yeah.
I mean, that's not the worst play in the world.
It's not. But also, listen, like we, as much as you, like we can criticize Torrey Craig when he has bad games and when he's not playing well. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, like he's not supposed to be playing this position for this team. He's not supposed to be playing this many minutes. He's not supposed to be carrying this heavy of a load. And he's doing the best that he can. I mean, he is putting up career numbers despite all of this. What was it? Let me look. Hold on. Let me find this. Torrey Craig he's shooting at career best prior to tonight's game anyway. Career best 38.9% from 3-point range this season. He's also averaging a career high 5.4 rebounds. So like yes, you could do the stats and the eye test type of thing here, right? Because we talked about this with Mikal Bridges the other day too, because it's such a weird situation. But like he's trying. You can't say he's not trying.
Look, if you are sitting here thinking that Torrey Craig is somehow the problem going on with the Phoenix Suns, I recommend you open your eyes a little bit wider, because this isn't the reason that the Phoenix Suns are struggling right now. The guy does hustle his ass off. He had a streak here where it was rough, and I agreed that they should have put him back to the bench and let him play the role he does. But he's not the reason that they're not winning. And tonight, again, played solid, and he's not the reason that they lost.
Yeah.
Listen, Torrey Craig is usually a bright spot in the games because of his energy. He's not a focal point, and he should not be a focal point. Like, he's going to give you extra attempts at the basket because of the hustle that he gets on the offensive boards. He's going to give you the hustle plays on the floor. Like, he's got some really good intangibles that he plays the game at a very high and intelligent level. So Torrey is, I mean, the Torrey slander is like whatever. It doesn't make any sense to me, because he's not supposed to be a key cog of your team. No. The key cogs are what's failing this team.
I mean, Vince, one of the Gerthlings says Torrey is not the problem, but he's also not the answer. Yeah, and the problem is you don't have an answer. So you're doing whatever you can right now, and at least Torrey, even in the games he's not playing well offensively, went out there and tried to put heart and hustle. It's not an excuse for the way they're playing, but I just don't think you can put any of the blame on Torrey Craig.
All right. So now that we got that out of the way, a couple more super chats. One from Trevor. Thank you, Trevor, again for your second super chat of the night. Said, sucks to say that we are starting to look like a team the league sees and says, that's a game we can get back on track if they're losing as well.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah. We're the team that another team can get a bounce back win from right now.
Absolutely.
That's rough.
That's what we are right now.
That was mean, Trevor.
I really am starting to have those vibes from back in the dark days. The 2016, 17 kind of, like, right now we're going to have a third string level point guard starting in all likelihood on Sunday. You are seeing young guys underperform to what you expected. Like, it's just, I didn't think we would wind up back here, and definitely did not think we'd wind up back here as fast as we have. At least there's hope. There are, the Devin Booker and Cam Johnson coming back, but man, it's rough. It's rough. I feel sorry for the Coyotes who have been doing a show after this kind of a game, for 2 years now.
I'm not there yet. I don't have that level of despair, simply because I feel like there's so much parity in the West right now, that you're going to have a chance to, if you can just get a couple wins to get your mojo back, then you're going to be okay. Like, you're going to be fine. So I think this year, if you get to 45 wins, you're definitely going to make the playoffs, but you might even be flirting with that 6th spot. So it's just such a weird year. It really is. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. the Pistons pull off of crazy ass buzzer beater against the Warriors the other night when the Warriors had won like 5 in a row and they were hot. Like, it's just nothing makes sense.
Well, and to those that are saying blow it up, that's probably not even a possibility right now because your hands are tied in terms of any deals you can make because of the server thing. This could potentially be the weirdest season we've experienced based on expectations that have tanked, based on ownership's changing, but it's not going to be fast enough. And now you're being held hostage because of it. This is just one of the more bizarre experiences as a Suns fan. And I thought we had seen about as weird as it could ever get here.
Yeah.
And now we've met new levels.
Like, I don't even know how to explain it.
I think it got heightened though, too, because we allowed ourselves as fans to get to what is Money saying? What is it? Happy on the farm?
Mm-hmm.
We allowed ourselves to get a little too happy on the farm. We went from 0 to 100 real quick as a fan base. Like, there was no gradual growth into being a good team. And I think because it was such a quick transition, we just got so caught up in the whirlwind of finally not being at the bottom of the barrel. So this struggle feels way worse because it just was like, wait, hold on. Literally 2 seconds ago, we were at the top.
Well, it almost feels like as quick as it came,
it left.
It's left as fast. You know what I mean? Like, this is, I mean, think about it. On Christmas Day, you know, it looked like the Suns could potentially beat the Nuggets. And, you know, everything was going to be right again because they had beat the Grizzlies. And now, like, they're feeling good. Like, and now we're sitting here and they've lost, you know, 8 out of their last 9. And you're wondering, man, is this guy falling? Like, is it legit falling right now? And it feels like it kind of is. You know, we have 2 hopes right now. And I've said it already like 4 or 5 times. The parity in the West and the hope that Devin Booker and and Cam Johnson can come back and kind of right the ship to a degree to where, you know, we elevate again. Because right now, everything just looks really, really bleak in terms of not only the team play, but also the moves that you could possibly make and how handcuffed you may or may not be there. The salaries that you still owe these guys moving forward, like, not ideal.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of like that person that has nothing, wins the lottery, and then somehow
loses all
that, spends all that in 2 years and wonders, how did I wind up right back here? We got really, really excited, and then we've bottomed out again. I want to give a shout out to Mike B in the chat. Mike saw this. Know you're going through some stuff yourself, but he said, you guys keep it real. We don't always have to donate for you guys to read our posts. PHNX is always legit. You guys seem to get that's why you are so easy to love. Thank you. We appreciate you too, Mike
thanks,
B.
Mike.
Yeah.
Even if this gets tougher, we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here through it and to help you out. So
If you're not familiar with our brand of losing, go check out the Coyotes. Go check out the Sun Devils because they always lose to the Wildcats.
Wow.
Sorry. Go check out the D-backs.
Listen,
go
check out any show. Any show
Cardinals.
we do, go check it out.
That wasn't this one for the last however long.
Yeah, we are going to do our damnedest to make these shows fun, despite the fact that maybe these games are not fun to watch. But we're all going to be here together in misery, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yes. All right, so we do have a couple additional topics from the chat that I want to get into, but first, let me tell you about our friends over at More Furniture. They are fantastic. They helped us set up our office here at PHNX. They hooked us up with an amazing viewing area with these awesome lounge recliner things. I don't even know what they're like would be considered because they're recliners. They also have like a little light
cup
thingy.
holder, a table.
No, like a light, a table, a charging plug.
It's home theater seating.
There you go. I was like, it's more than just a recliner. A recliner doesn't do these chairs justice. They also have tables, coffee tables, bookshelves, anything that you guys could use, whether it's for your home or an office space. If you guys are in the market for some new furniture, check out More Furniture. You can save big on the best furniture in the Valley when you head to morefurniture.com. That's MOR furniture.com.
And I want to tell you about our friends over at Octane Raceway. I've had a lot of fun there. I know we did it as a company. Their racetrack is one of the cooler ones I've done in go-karting. You start inside, you wind up kind of in an outside area, you go back around. It's a hell of a time out there at Octane Raceway, and I recommend you go out there for some family fun. You'll love it out there at Octane. I took my nephews out there when they were here in town, and it was a great time. And they got some great daily specials. If you're out there on a Monday, $15 fun pass, you can't go wrong with that. $50 off taco trios on Tuesday. Those better be some bomb ass. They're gold tacos. You're getting $50 off. No, not guaranteed to be gold tacos. You're getting 50% off on Tuesdays. Winning Wednesdays with half price arcade games, and all sorts of great stuff throughout the week. So check them out. We're excited to welcome them and Mavericks to our PHNX family. You've seen the fun our crew has had out there. Now you should go check it out yourself. And it's right up there on the 101. Easy to find, easy to get to from anywhere in the valley.
And lastly, I know we're not living in a fantasy land over here anymore, but you can still have a heck of a lot of fun on the Underdog Fantasy app. They do daily sports differently. It is so simple to have fun and potentially win a whole bunch of money on the Underdog Fantasy app. You can check it out by going to underdogfantasy.com or by downloading the app. And right now, if you sign up with the promo code PHNX, Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. So you could get some free money from Underdog to play on the Underdog Fantasy app. This app is great because, one, you can play by yourself. Two, you can get a group of friends together and have them come join you on the app. You guys can play for one single day if that's all you can get your friends to commit to. Or you can do the whole week.
How should you your friends if you can only commit to one day?
That's exactly what happened tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, right?
Yeah, I absolutely dominated the Coyotes crew in fantasy tonight. Just
fantasy hockey, right?
Fantasy hockey. I didn't even know who the hell I was picking. I was like, I'm going to take these 4 dudes, and I demolished them all.
How much you take from
Easy money, like $20.
Nice. Hey, it's 20 you didn't have to start
this is true.
Before.
See, so even if you don't even know the players you're drafting, you can still potentially win a whole bunch of money on the Underdog Fantasy app. So make sure you guys check it out once again. All right, so a couple more things from the chat. Logan sent us a super chat and said, "What's next for the Suns?"
More games?
Logan, it's 10-day season, y'all.
Oh God!
Are we gonna dive down this rabbit hole? It's 10-day season, y'all.
I told you it's 2016-17 all over again. What point guard can we get on a 10-day?
Listen, I'm just saying. So Espo had tweeted out this article today that kind of broke down 10-day contracts, who can use them, how they can be used, and then it pointed out some NBA veterans and some G League players that might be on some people's radar. We got Carmelo Anthony in the NBA veterans column, right? Carmelo Anthony, DeMarcus Cousins, Isaiah Thomas, Hassan Whiteside, and then Saul, as you mentioned, Kemba Walker, who is also now available. Any of those?
A literal poo-poo platter of what we're looking at now. Look.
But could it be helpful?
Wait. Listen. Whoa. Okay. I guess I caught flack on another pod for talking shit about Shamit. Okay, cool. He had 2 good games in his entire Phoenix Sun career. I don't care. We need somebody that can play, that can actually put the ball in the hoop. There's one guy out there in Carmelo that can do it. Now if Chris Paul is a cone, then my man is a sequoia in the forest, not moving a damn bit, right? Like, we get that. That's fine. But I mean, you got to take a flyer on somebody because they don't have anybody else. Hey, they're about to be like the UConn women's basketball team and not even have enough players to play, which did happen tonight.
It did?
It did.
Wow.
They had to they had to postpone their game because they're not going to have enough players because they're all injured.
Look, we've talked about Carmelo. Sure. Great. Take a flyer. At this point, any points are good points, I guess. I don't need to see Isaiah Thomas back here, at 5'9", trying to score at will and failing miserably. Like, Shaq Harrison, great. Been there, done that. Got the shirt.
Bring him back.
Don't need it
Bring
again.
him home, baby.
I'd rather have
Shaq
Shaquille-
Harrison, Jalen LeCue, Isaiah Thomas. Add them all to the list. Let's go.
I would rather have Shaq than Shaq Harrison. All right. Heck.
Elia Kobo, where he's at? Where's
Steve
he at?
Nash is unemployed
Let's
right now.
go.
How
Bring
about
him
bringing
back.
it on a 10-day?
Let's do
Kobo
it.
is playing overseas where his ass needs to stay.
Dragan Bender. What
He
about him?
Does not belong in the NBA.
Is Josh Jackson anywhere? Let's bring him in.
I think he is somewhere,
I
right?
think he's in Detroit. isn't he?
Yeah.
No,
He's not there
They
anymore.
didn't resign him. I don't look. Honestly, we're at the point where this is what's giving us hope. Oh,
Hello gets it.
No.
Jamal Crawford, baby.
Oh my
Yes,
God. The obsession.
100%. Bring back Jamal Crawford.
He's got that TNT money now. He doesn't need
You're
us.
thinking with your heart, not your head.
Well, you know what? When we lose, that's what you're supposed to do. The only way that you can get through a losing
Archie
streak,
Goodwin.
continuing to watch this team as they lose, is by thinking with your heart. Because if you thought with your head, you'd turn the game off.
Lindsay, I don't have a heart. So what am I supposed to
You're
do? in this
lying. You do for
situation?
the Suns. You got a soft spot for the
No,
Suns.
they've ripped it out and stomped on it far too many times. So we're talking now. People are like Eric Bledsoe, Dwight Howard,
Mike James, Ife Lundberg.
Mike
Oh my
James.
Let's go. All of them.
Oh,
If
my
I was drinking a
gosh.
beer, it would taste really bad right now.
So, Zoran Dragic, no.
Okay, Connor has a
I
good
want
point.
the dragon.
Connor has a good point in the chat. Jalen LeCue, I want me some dunks.
No.
It would be exciting.
Would it be?
It would
Baby
be
Did
exciting.
did he dunk one time the entire time he got any minutes here?
I feel like a couple times.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Maybe I'm
I
just
can't
remembering
recall that
things
at
wrong.
all.
But I feel
He
like a
did with
couple
the
times.
G League team.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
with
but
the G
now
League
he's
team.
better. He's got more
Game time
Experience,
Sure.
age.
yeah, all
I-
the above.
Hello with the great comment here. Espo has a heart. He doesn't have a soul. That's right. I did sell it, and I'm getting very poor return on that sale.
You did. I
Lou
thought
Amundsen.
I thought it would be worth more.
Killer Wreck wants Euphoria wants Boris
oh, my
Dio
goodness
back.
gracious.
Blake
Listen,
Griffin.
all I'm saying is, while yes, we are making jokes about all of this, the 10-day contract window is officially open. So it is something that the Suns could explore. Will they? At this point, I don't have faith that they'll do really anything, but they could.
It's something.
there.
It's something, nothing, and everything right now.
This is very true.
Oh, thank God.
Are we ready, Emma? Are we ready?
In the darkness, beyond the
Stop it
light,
there. In the
there
darkness.
shall only be
Emma
one.
sounded so sad.
Welcome to
Gerald Bourget, everybody.
How's it going, guys?
Why are you clapping?
Because I feel like we needed sound effects.
Yay, Gerald. How are you?
Hey, Gerald.
Hey,
Now
guys.
you
How's
get
it going?
it. There we go.
Hey, there we go.
Gerald, thoughts on bringing Jalen LeCue back on a 10-day contract? Ready? Go.
Oh, God, we're down bad right now, are we?
Oh, yeah. Lindsay has gone through the whole
Gerald.
gamut of the last decade of everything bad about guards with the Phoenix Suns.
Wow, Gerald.
Who's ready for Chapter 2 of Mike James? Here we go.
Yeah, that name
And
was
that
brought
came
up.
too. We got Archie Goodwin.
Oh, yeah.
We're playing the hits here tonight, Gerald.
Oh, my
Oh, dear
goodness.
God.
Brandon Knight, let's go. I could use it. Hey, if for nothing else, then a great dunk on him.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
All right, Gerald. Obviously, one of the first things I got to ask you is about Chris Paul. I know that we don't like to trust updates around Chris Paul anymore, but did you get one?
No, nothing other than the sore right hip that we got when he was initially ruled out for the rest of the game. He wasn't in the locker room, even though we tried to track him down. Monty
walk
said they're
fast
going to have to
out?
do their – he sped walk out of the building. No, he couldn't do that. That might have re-aggravated the injury, but
Oh,
That's
no.
probably what caused the injury in the first place.
too many State Farm commercials. But no, we don't have an update. They're going to evaluate it. They're going to practice tomorrow, so hopefully we'll have an update tomorrow.
All right. What
I'm
about
sorry.
Mikal Bridges?
Yeah, so we did talk to Mikal in the locker room. He was saying, I'm fine. There's nothing going on with my body. It's just me. You know, I'm the one that's struggling. It's just on me. It's nothing wrong with me. he's going to say that 10 times out of 10. We're never going to know the long and short of it until after the season is over, probably, and we see them appear on another podcast. But yeah, it's unfortunate because he is about as down as I've ever seen Mikal Bridges. We've said that after a couple of the locker room interviews we've seen from him lately. He knows that he's struggling, and he tried to make up for it tonight by getting to the line and battling through it. He did get there a career high 10 times, but couldn't, hit the broadside of a barn with his shot. So it is something that the Suns need him to snap out of the funk that's been going on with him since December. I think fatigue is definitely playing a factor. He leads the league in miles traveled by 3 coming into tonight's game. He was second in the NBA in minutes played. He's got like over 400 minutes more than the next closest Sun. They need to find a way to dial back his minutes or, God forbid, end the Iron Man streak and give the guy a night off.
Yeah, when I watch Mikal right now, it feels like everything technique and fundamental wise is a little out of whack. His off balance shooting, we've seen him shoot off balance, especially in that mid range game. But these particular jump shots just look like things are just a little bit off, right? That right leg is trailing a little bit further behind than normal. He's not releasing his jump shot the same way he was releasing his jump shot in the first 10 games of the season. There's just a little of everything right now. I'll go back to this. Are we in a situation right now from what you can see with this team that we're basically just holding on for dear life, or at least trying to, until Devin Booker and Cam Johnson come back? And will that even be enough by the time they do?
It's a good question, and I think it's one that's looming overhead of everybody. We talk to these guys about how difficult it is to stay the course. They always talk about never too high, never too low. But when you're losing like this, that is putting that mindset to the ultimate test. And you could tell from guys' responses, they're all kind of processing this losing skid differently. Torrey Craig was saying, yeah, that's all well and good, and we showed fight tonight, but that was a winnable game that we lost. You had guys like DA saying, it's good that we're showing that fight and that we're staying together. That's the important thing. So just kind of differing opinions on that. I honestly don't know. This team is 2-9 without Devin Booker now, and you could honestly chalk it up to 2-10 because that Christmas Day game, he only played 4 minutes, and they lost that one without him too. They're not a very good team without Book, and part of it is there's so many reasons that we could go through. Another guy goes down now tonight, and you're looking ahead at the next couple of weeks. Like, their upcoming schedule is brutal. They got another road trip coming up after Sunday's home game, so it's not going to get any easier. I can't say that this team is going to have a shot. They have to find a way to scratch and claw their way to wins, and that's what they tried to do the last 2 games. I can't fault the effort in any way. The defense has gotten way better. They just can't put the ball in the hole right now, and it's tough to watch.
Gerald, can you please give me some positivity, anything that you heard out there or saw out there? Because your Gerthlings have literally named every player that I watched from 2011 to 2016 when I worked for the team, and it's depressing. They're naming them all as 10-day options. I need something. Give me something.
Shaq Harrison,
Jamal Crawford.
Look, guys, it's all about perspective and managing your expectations, because I know that falling to 500 after you started the season 15-6 feels terrible. There's no way around it when you lose, 14 out of their last 19 games now. It feels bad. This is a team that we expected to be near the top of the Western Conference, contending for a title. And they're not right now. But at the same time, this team has already won more games this year than they did in half of Devin Booker's first couple of seasons here. This is not a terrible team. They're a terrible team right now, but if they get healthy, there will be a better team. They just have to find a way to hang on for dear life until they get there. I don't know if they can do that, because right now everything points to no. But yeah, I mean, they're 500. They're not 30 games below. We've seen much worse than this. And I know that this feels bad because of the heightened expectations for this group. And that might make it even more frustrating than just a losing season where you're supposed to lose. But this team is still fighting. They are still trying. They still deserve your fandom. They just need to make some damn shots.
But that's what I'm saying. If you honestly don't know if it's possible, then what is it? What is the harm in a few 10 days? What's the harm in using your 15th roster spot? How
False
much
hope.
worse can it be?
I mean, the minute we mentioned Jamal Crawford, Lindsay
like
just
some of
lost
these
it.
things, no, some of these things I'm joking, but for real though, like what is the harm in trying somebody else to just bring in a spark? Maybe somebody who's just not so down on themselves right now.
Listen, there's one guy that can control all that, and that's James Jones, and he's just not going to do it. He's just not going to do it. I'm not wrong.
I don't know. I feel like it might depend on what we hear back from Chris's hip injury, because if it is something serious that even holds him out for a couple weeks, it would be malpractice to not sign somebody, some guard who could come in and just be a body out there who can handle the ball. Like, there are players out there. I'm not going all the way back to like 2016, 17 Suns to find him, but like there are guys that you could bring in, and you might have to if Chris Paul's out. You could tell Dwayne Washington, we talked to him in the locker room, he's gearing up. He knows he has to be a lot better than he was tonight as a floor general, as a shooter. But he's ready for his moment, but it's not going to matter if his backup is Landry Shamet. Like, you don't have a backup point guard right now. So that's looking a little dicey.
I have found the positive. I'm now in the boat of sign as many 10-day contracts as possible because it costs Robert Sarver money, and I'm in on that. Let's cost him as much as possible before he hands it over to Ishmael.
Listen, however you got over to this side of the fence, I don't care as long as you're on my side.
I don't care who it is. Just sign him, release him, and sign the next guy.
Bobby in the chat agrees to us. Bobby sent us a super chat, said, hello, guys and miss. How are y'all doing? Sorry about Suns' loss. Maybe bring somebody back that can contribute?
Gerald,
see?
you got 48 minutes in you?
Why not? Gerald, do you have 12 minutes in you? We really only need a few.
I got like 5 minutes in me, and then I'm going to need a sub.
We'll take it. Was there anything else tonight, Gerald, that stood out to you from talking with Monty or the players?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is that obviously the fan base is frustrated right now, but I would like to remind everybody before you go bashing every single player on this team, like, they care a lot more than you do. They are very down about it. And Mikal Bridges said it best. It's good that we're frustrated. It means that we care. They're trying, man. They really are. They held this team to 104 points. They held the last team to 90, and they still just can't make shots. They don't have enough offensive juice. Mikal is just off or fatigued or whatever you want to call it. Like, they are trying. I know that we have been hard on DA. We've been hard on Mikal. We've been hard on everybody on this roster. And that doesn't make anybody feel better about being 500, but they are scratching and clawing their way into these games. Hopefully they get the breakthrough soon so that all that effort can kind of be validated, and maybe you can snowball that into a little mini streak. But it is really not going to be easy with their upcoming schedule.
Well, thank you so much, Gerald. We appreciate you checking in with us. All of you here live with us, thank you for joining us for the post-game show. If you're listening, wherever you get your podcast, thank you for joining us. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review because it helps us a lot. We will see you guys on Sunday. The Suns are back in action, taking on the Cavs. We'll have a pregame show for you at 5:30 p.m., so plan to come hang out with us then. And then, of course, we'll have a post-game show after that game wraps up as well. Until then, you can follow me on Twitter at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And, of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
Hey, don't feel too bad. You could be frantically scrolls to the bottom of the standings. The Houston Rockets. Oi.
Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though, Lindsay, Gerald, Espo. Saw past the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand me, I'll always rep the family. Rally in the valley like Dan G, no plan B, always on the job.